As is the case with most open-world games, the trick to getting powerful in Dying Light 2 is all about applying the best upgrades, taking the right power-ups, and nabbing the best loot. If you're new to the game and want some pointers to gain an edge in the early to mid hours of gameplay, then you've come to the right place. I'm William Strife, and welcome to the Dying Light 2 Beginner's Guide, funded by monthly viewer donations at strife.solutions. After completing the nearly 2-hour prologue of Dying Light 2, you'll be set free upon the city of Villedor. However, running and jumping across the urban landscape will be challenging without first gaining additional stamina and unlocking extra safe zones. It's made painfully clear in the prologue, but you can only be in the dark for so long before you get a game over. One of the best ways to avoid this is by either skipping the night entirely or leaning heavily on UV lamps in safe zones to refresh your immunity. To do either though, you obviously need to look for and unlock settlements and hideouts to help you along the way. Barring anything else, this is one of the most simple things you can do to make survival easier. The more valuable option though is searching for inhibitors. Collect 3 of them and it extends the duration you can spend in the dark, and you can choose to either increase your stamina or health. This gets to the most important bit of advice for Dying Light 2. Always upgrade stamina. While having more health is nice, and it does mean you can endure more punishment in combat, you have one stamina meter that's used in both climbing and combat. For this reason, trying to max it out is far more beneficial, though having a bit more health so you don't get one-shot later in the game is also pretty valuable. Regardless of which upgrades you take though, the crates that inhibitors are inside of are supremely valuable because they respawn. After enough time has gone by, you can return to any crate to find a military med pack in place of the inhibitor, along with an immunity booster and a random piece of clothing. However, after initially opening the crate, your GRE key that helps you home in on them will no longer activate on your HUD. This makes remembering the locations of all the easy-to-grab crates incredibly valuable, as it's a great way to farm some of the best consumables in the game. That being said, on average, pretty much all loot containers, including GRE crates, take roughly 30 minutes to respawn, and you can't be in the area around them for it to happen. That complicates things in the early game, but don't forget this during later stages of the story after you go to new sections of the map, as Old Town is a great place to return to just to loot the GRE crates. Now, with all of those things said, let's look at where to find some of the easiest to grab inhibitors from the start of the game. Keeping in mind, we won't be covering the ones inside of hospitals and protected by bosses. We're only touching on the low-hanging fruit here. We'll start with the district known as Horseshoe, which has only one easy-to-access GRE crate with 2 inhibitors. It's located on the top floor of an apartment building just south of the Willow Windmill and northeast of the GRE anomaly CA05. It's possible to find this crate during the story quest, The Only Way Out, but if you're just free roaming, you have to enter the dwelling from the veranda on the east side. After clearing out the infected, search for a wardrobe in a closet covered with a cloth and climb on top of it to get to the next level. You'll find the crate immediately in front of you when you climb up. The next zone is Quarry End, which is equally void of easy-to-find inhibitors, coming in at only 1 crate holding 2 needles. The bonus, however, is how easy it is to find this loot cache. It's located in the northwest corner of Quarry End. More specifically, it's next to the southern stairs in a double-ended dead-end metro station. Despite how you'd think this location would be a dark hollow, it's not, and surprisingly easy to loot and leave with little trouble. Now we move on to Trinity, and the first GRE crate holds 2 inhibitors. It's located almost directly underneath the large windmill. To find the specific location, look a tiny bit west of the windmill for a north-facing open window, across from which is a rooftop garden. Just inside, you'll find the chest on your right. The second GRE crate located in Trinity is also a real find, as it holds 3 inhibitors. It's located in the northern part of the district, west of a Night Runner hideout and east of St. Joseph Hospital. It's in an apartment block next to a dark hollow. To get to the specific location, when facing the ground entrance to the dark zone next door, you want to look to the building on the right. You can access the block through a second floor window with a laundry rack in front of it. Inside, just on the right, is the crate. Moving on, the last district is Houndfield, which is home to the most easy-to-access inhibitor caches, coming in at 3. We'll start with the southern section of the district and a GRE crate that contains a single inhibitor. It's located just east of the Houndfield electrical station and sunk into the river. At later stages of the game, this crate is underneath a makeshift bridge, but in the early stages, it's just past a set of stairs that lead into the water. Your biggest challenge when reaching this crate is avoiding the chemicals coating the ground around it, so if you're really stuck on how to reach it, just swim south down the river. Because this crate is easily lost in the murk, for subsequent relooting, remember, its specific location is right in front of the southern stair. The next singular inhibitor in Houndfield is inside of a safe in a Night Runner hideout. Its location is just west of the Survivor Settlement Rooftop School, and across the street northwest of the GRE Hospital Stage 4 THV study. It's the building with the dome on top. Inside, find a wardrobe blocking a door and move it. Activate the generator to unlock a safe zone, then open the box next to the bed for a combination code. Use it on the safe sitting on a workbench in the next room over to find the inhibitor. In the event you're not feeling like going through notes though, the safe code should be 101. An additional, hopefully fairly obvious note, is that while this safe will respawn a military medpack, there's no additional loot next to it. Finally, the last GRE crate that's easy to grab holds one inhibitor. It's located in a military container on the north end of Houndfield, immediately south of a Night Runner safe zone and southwest of St. Joseph Hospital. The mobile lab is parked outside of the north fence surrounding an underground parking garage. You may visit this location for the side quest, the ball is in your court. There are multiple military containers strewn across the city, and they serve as special loot caches that don't respawn. However, this one military container with the GRE crate is special because the entirety of its contents does respawn. This means everything inside, including the GRE crate, high-level loot crate, military medpack, immunity booster, and a golden weapon, return after roughly 30 minutes pass. For this reason, it's also one of the most valuable loot caches to remember in the game. So don't forget its location. Since looting this container will lead to an amazing weapon though, let's talk about armament and some of their quirks. As you run and fight your way across the urban landscape, understanding some of the unique properties about the weapons you wield is helpful. In Dying Light 2, melee weapons have durability, but there's no express way to repair them. There is, however, a workaround with weapon mods. The more powerful or rare a weapon is, the more likely it is to have mod slots, with slots for the tip and the shaft being common, and a grip slot showing up much more rarely. The way you repair a weapon is by applying a mod to one of the slots, and it'll return some amount of durability. This means it's better if you use up, say, half a weapon's life before you apply your first mod. In addition to this, mods are specific to weapon slots. In other words, if you get a really good grip mod, you can't apply it to either the tip or the shaft. That being said, all mods will only return a set amount of durability, regardless of their level. Upgrading your blueprints is still entirely worth it though, but to do so, you need to visit a craft master. In most major settlements, there will be both a vendor who you can buy and sell from, and a craft master who you can both buy mod blueprints from and also spend special zombie trophies at to improve your crafting blueprints. Zombie trophies are dropped by every type of infected beyond the typical shambler. In order of least to greatest rarity, they come in uncommon, rare, and unique, with each rank coming from increasingly dangerous infected. To get enough of them to upgrade lots of blueprints though, you need to farm them. One of the most effective ways to farm zombie trophies starts by heading over to the rooftop school in Trinity during the night. On the west side of the school, hop past the wooden barrier and stand right in front of the mattress with the yellow arrow. This is the important place you want to be because just across the roof is a door where infected will infinitely spawn during a chase, so long as you never stand still. The easiest way to start a chase from this spot is in the military zone just off the roof to the west. Leap off into a dumpster below, and a screaming howler next to it will start a chase. Just don't kill it so you can start multiple chases in one night if you need it. Anyway, climb back up the building to the same spot on the roof. Your goal is to stand in front and just to the right of the mattress, tempting the infected that spawn on the other roof to leap across to you. The real trick is to learn when exactly to kick them off as they climb up, letting the fall take care of the rest. You'll need to stay ready to deal with any that slip through the cracks, but with practice, the waves are manageable. It's during the first 2 levels of chase that you'll get both uncommon and rare trophies, but when a chase enters level 3, volatiles will begin to spawn, the most dangerous zombies in the game, who also drop high-level, unique trophies. At this point, your goal is to try and spam kick any volatile off just like any other running infected. But because they have so much health, they'll survive the fall and climb back up to get you. To manage this, you want to keep activating your survivor sense and stay close to the edge of the roof. This way, when they leap up, you can kick them again to finish them off. The true sweet spot to reach is a level 4 chase, when only volatiles spawn and you no longer have to deal with the smaller running virals. If you're lucky, you'll get only 1 volatile spawning at a time, but if you're unlucky, 3 will spawn in quick succession. Managing 1 at a time is obviously more easy, but juggling 3 is also possible with practice, and can be done all night long. Just remember, your weapon is your enemy, and kick is your friend, because it briefly stun locks volatiles so they can't attack you. If things get too hot for you though, you can always turn around and run back past the wooden barrier to the safety of the rooftop school. After the chase is entirely over, all you need to do is go back and jump down into the dumpster in the alley where you've been kicking them off, and use your survivor sense to collect up all the loot packs. This farming method, like most, is a bit hit and miss, but it can net you a healthy number of trophies right from the game's start to potentially max out all of your crafting blueprints. Another beautiful thing about farming trophies right here is how, even if you die, none of the loot will despawn, because you just come right back at the school, which is right on top of all of the spoils. There's a plethora of other things to do and collectibles to grab in Dying Light 2, but the selection of tips and locations covered here will hopefully give you just the edge you need to start your adventure in the zombie apocalypse. If there's any other topics you'd like to see in detail though, go ahead and drop a comment and I may just make more guides to help. Until next time though, I'm William Strife, and this guide was made possible through monthly viewer donations at strife.solutions. If you want to see more guides and videos, please consider contributing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.